I had a lot of questions about the Raiders over the course of the season. I had a lot of questions about Derek Carr over the course of the season. But considering the million things that happened to this franchise, okay, you can't have as many catastrophic events happen to a franchise as happened to the Raiders this year and not appreciate the fact that they fought their way in to the postseason and they fought their way through a game and they fought their way through an overtime and then they kicked a field goal, to make it happen rather than just letting the clock run out. And as one of my good friends said to me, a divisional rival, not letting another divisional rival get into the playoffs is how it should be done. Like, you know what? Fine, get the Steelers in, but you don't get your divisional rival into the playoffs. Good for the Raiders.
No, I want to go back like through the last week of all these takes of like, well, they're just going to kneel every single play. And just try to teach those people about, hey, professional athletes are competitive. They want to win. Nobody's taking a knee for 60 minutes. And then these two teams who only needed a tie, right? Go out and play maybe the most thrilling game of the NFL season, most competitive game of the NFL season. Ridiculous. It was so great. Real quick, I want to ask you this. We were on this podcast after Raiders fell to 5-5. They had lost to the Giants. That lost in age well. And then were blown out, I think, by the Chiefs and the Bengals. At that point, they're 5-5. And I think we both said the Raiders are done. Their season's done. We get it. They win 5 of their last 7. Does Rich Bisaccia, A, does he keep the job, do you think? And B, does he have an argument for Coach of the Year? I mean, Arians won it as an interim once, and boy, with all the Raiders went through this season to make the playoffs, I think he's got at least an argument.
I think Rich Bisaccia is someone that I have no problem with someone putting him into the race and talking about him and debating him. Matt LaFleur and Mike Vrabel are going to be tough to beat out this year. They really are. I mean, they both have a spectacular. I mean, and you could say that here's all these things that Rich Bisaccia did. I think with Mike Vrabel, you look at him and you go, well, he did something historic. Like Mike Vrabel, literally, particularly with the number of players rostered, he did something historic that might set him apart. But as far as Rich Bisaccia being part of the conversation, I think he's earned it. That finish, particularly considering the John Gruden mess. You release a first-round defensive back over things that he says on his social media. Obviously, the Henry Ruggs tragedy. It was just one thing after another piling up on this team. As far as the full-time job goes, boy, I'll tell you what. Could he Steve Fisher it? Could this be like the 1989 Michigan Wolverines basketball team where you have he takes over for Bill Frieder and all of a sudden goes on a little run and you're sitting there going, now they won the title. I don't think Rich Bisaccia would necessarily have to win the title. I think if the Raiders go into the postseason and they're competitive and they win a game or 2 games or whatever, I think Mark Davis has got to stop and go, wait a minute, how can I upset this at this point? Now, maybe he wants Jim Harbaugh. Okay, maybe that whole thing is serious. He really wants to make a run at Jim Harbaugh. Okay, that could be the case, but I think he has given Mark Davis, at least up until this point, something to think about. And if he piles up some wins on top of that, the locker room has responded to him. And something special, going on for Las Vegas right now.